It's lovely to be here, and thank you, Heidi, for your inspirational beginning here as well. And before we dive deep into this topic, this how to create an unforgettable customer experience for customers that are hard to impress, I think it's good to kind of reflect on the times we live in. And the fact that, of course, that the world is changing quickly, and AI is kind of top of mind for all of us. Like, you know, how is the world changing? What is tomorrow for all of us? And recently, I had a very good conversation with some of our leadership team at Nordic Business Forum. And Preet is here somewhere as well, our CEO. I also asked, like, okay, what are the mega trends that we need to tap into and understand to know how we remain relevant in this context and for our customers? And I think, of course, it's a very relevant question to ask so that we understand that we need to kind of adjust to that. But I also love the reflection that I got back, which was that we also need to ask ourselves that what are the things that are not changing? What are the things that actually remain, which are at the core of what we do as a business? And at the very core of what we do as a business, being a business event, is bringing people together, making sure that everybody can get inspired of one another, connect, get inspired and learn. So with those thoughts, I think I will indeed take a slightly different angle to today's topics, and authenticity certainly is something that I hope you can take away from this. So indeed, we are a big business event in Finland. Has anybody attended? A few hands, excellent. So much potential in this program, this audience as well. But hopefully you will get a bit more understanding of what we are all about, besides the lovely words that we got in the beginning. So I try to live up to them as well. But let's first look at the short video so you get an understanding of our event. So that's how it looks when you go to the Helsinki Expo and Congress Center to enjoy this event, which is a 2-day event in the end of September. Very quickly, as they mentioned, my background is on the corporate side. 15 years with Nokia and Microsoft all together in different marketing, brand, corporate responsibility and event roles. And then joining Nordic Business Forum after I had been a customer for 1 year. So I joined as a customer because I started hearing great things about the event. And then less than a year from that, I joined the team and have been in the team ever since. And have had the chance to also be writing or co-authoring a book on customer experience in Finland, and then involved in board work as well, which is great because I think it also tells about the need for company boards to understand customer experience better. So, today, I hope to give you a bit more understanding of how we at Nordic Business Forum approach customer experience. And my experience is, and I dare to promise to you, that there will be some takeaways that you can take to your own role, whatever you are doing. And I hope there will be some insights indeed that you can put into practice, because that, of course, is what would make this half an hour or so meaningful for you as well, besides hopefully being also inspirational and enjoying some storytelling. Indeed, hints and tips for designing memorable experiences. I think most of us in our work can do that, either to our internal colleagues or then to customers. This is how Nordic Business Forum looks today, or a few years ago, but it looks very similar today. But it started like this. Literally started like this in 2009-10. This was the first seminar that our founders Hans-Petter Siefen and Jyri Lindén did in Jyväskylä back in the years. And as you can see, the only adult in that class is Hape's dad. They're in the middle, a second row. All the others were like friends and classmates that were kind of forced there with a ticket price of, I think, 10 euros. And literally, this is how it grew in 10 years. And it would not have been possible for that event to grow like that unless people would have wanted to return. Last year, our kind of recommendation rate was more than 98%. So almost everybody who attended would recommend it to somebody else. And growing an event in a market size of Finland, of course, we also have, as I will be showing you, international customers, but it would not have been possible unless we would have kept the ones who had originally started coming to the event. And as the title of my presentation gave away already, like they are demanding customers, they also have high expectations. So I'll tell you a bit how we approach that. What we are known for, and which I think is critically important when you design customer experiences, is to understand that what do you want to be loved for? Why do those customers come to you? What do you want to be loved for us is that we bring the world-class speakers, like top-notch content that kind of taps into the latest of business and leadership. So we always curate this content based on the latest and what we think companies need to know. The unparalleled networking, so that we bring the right people there. Super important as well. And then the unforgettable customer service experience. That is a fundamental pillar as well in all this. So for Nordic Business Forum, we know, based on years of experience and customer insights and everything, that it's those three things combined that become the customer experience that our customers want to pay for. And for some other companies, it can be something totally different. So I think that is one of the insights I want to leave you with, and maybe because you are professionals, many of you already know that. The customer experience is obviously not the same things for every company. You need to know what you want to be loved for and do those things especially well. For us, we know exactly who we are serving primarily. Our target group is clearly defined. It's C-level leaders and up. We target the very top of the companies. And if you look at the brownish orange type of shades here, it's almost 70%, including the director levels, kind of the aspirational C-level leaders is indeed the target audience. And then we have some others who, of course, are very welcome to come. But when we curate our content and our experience, it's for the C-level leaders. Very important. If you want to succeed with designing a customer experience and be loved for something, you need to know who you are serving. You can't serve everybody. I think that is also a given for many of you. Also, the majority of our event attendees in Finland, of course, come from Finland, but we also have a growing international audience and more than 50 nationalities attending. And from the Baltics, we have almost 20% now coming. So that's also the good work of Pritliv, who's been building the Baltic market here. And that's how it works. And we also, by the way, have sister companies in Oslo and Amsterdam and now in London as well. So the company has been, of course, growing in the recent years. But also important, I think, in cases like this is to establish that what do we mean when we talk about customer experience? For example, is it about everything a customer experiences when interacting with an organization or a brand? I think some of you, and at least oftentimes when I talk to audiences, like there are some who say, yeah, it is. It is like everything that they experienced and everything they kind of are exposed to. But what has been very insightful for us in terms of designing the experience that our customers seem to love, myself included, having been a customer and become a team member after that, is that it's about everything the customer remembers of their experience. If something happens to you, you experience something that doesn't really change anything in you. It's kind of irrelevant for you. It's about everything a customer remembers of their experience. That's what becomes their customer experience. And another light bulb insight, hopefully, for you to take away as well. People remember best the things that have evoked their emotions. So we design experiences that would evoke their emotions, because then we know they remember them. And if you think of anything on your professional life or private life, and you think of the things that you remember best, you've been happiest or you've been saddest, those are the ones indeed that you remember. They really stick with you. Key insight in designing unforgettable experiences. And this wonderful quote by Maya Angelou that I think some of you have seen is our guiding light. It could be the one single slide if I did this whole presentation in one slide only. I've learned that people will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I will soon show what our setup is. And our setup is such that we have a small team, and then we work with a large temporary organization. This is the key insight I want everybody to take away in those trainings as well before they join our team and actually deliver the customer experience. As Heidi was also saying, even if I'm the Chief Customer Experience Officer and ultimately responsible for the experience, but obviously I can't serve 8,000 people. It's about the whole team working together to create something unforgettable. People will never forget how you made them feel. So a bit more about our approach then. How do we do that? What's our mission? What is the common thing? Not indeed only clear vision or mission, but also the common one. Well, in simple terms, we define it like this. We are here to create the world's best customer service experience. The content curation and then attracting the right people, that's of course done by our organization as well. But what then happens, the magic that happens on site when people have decided to come is of course what we are then known for and want to be loved for. And we want it to be an experience that evokes emotions, because we know that's what they take away from the event then. And as said, we're a smallish team, some 20 plus people. We work with Nordic business for across the year, but then at the event we become an organization of about 1,000 people. Here we have the students who we work with. We always recruit students from this Haaga-Helia, University of Applied Sciences. And we believe it's only by empowering this whole team and inspiring them that we can actually achieve this wonderful customer experience. And we quite often use this metaphor of working as an orchestra. Everybody has their own notes and their own moments to shine, but when we work together and take into account what others are doing at the right time, then beautiful harmony comes out of it. An orchestra is a fantastic metaphor for working organizations and delivering customer experience. We do have, of course, some principles as well for the organization. Our joint way of working is based on these things: empathy, presence, authenticity, which was also mentioned in the heading of this day as well, the theme, proactiveness, personalized service, situational awareness, willingness, ability, and empowerment to act and exceed expectations. So we fundamentally trust people, even the newbies, the ones we haven't met before, but we actually recruit them very carefully. But we want them to feel empowered. We say to them, we look after you, we teach you everything we can, and then we trust that you will do what's best for the customers. And it has worked wonders for us, because this is what we want to do for our customers, making them feel special at every step of their journey. And of course, we've carefully planned the journey. It's our job in the core team then to make sure that we understand how that whole thing works. And we have literally thought of the touch points, of course, carefully. If the Baltic customers come to the Länsi-Satama of Helsinki, there's somebody to greet them. We've elevated that touch point. And if somebody comes by train, of course, there's somebody to greet them there. Or when they come to the main doors, of course, somebody's opening the door. Of course. Now, why wouldn't we? Because we want it to be an excellent service experience. And all these are authentic photos of our events where people are actually empowered to do whatever it takes to make the customers feel special and exceed their expectations, provide them a feeling of personalized service. So it's a continuous chain of interactions where the customer is never lost. We always know who has treated the customer, who has been with the customer before. So that's what we carefully curate. But not only that, we've taken a bit further. It's okay if you can't see it, because it's also half of only the thing that we just done recently, which is actually inspired by Will Guidara's Unreasonable Hospitality. Has anybody read that book? Wonderful! Yeah, I'm not surprised. Some of you have. If you haven't, good for you. You have all that ahead of you. It's a fantastic book, and Will also was one of our speakers last year when we have customer experience as a theme of the event. But it's also a fantastic leadership book, so I recommend it also from that perspective. What we did was an interrogation of our customer journey. And we did that now this spring, so instead of, or in addition to having, of course, thought of the touch points before and having curated the experience so that it's smooth and energizing, we started actually looking at, have we overlooked something? Have we thought of every single possibility we would have with the customers to do something? I think we ended up with 160 plus touch points for the 2-day event. And then we looked into, okay, what happens before the event, during the event, after the event, which are the moments that we haven't yet looked into and which have potential to actually characterize the experience even more than we have done so far. Because we believe that certain moments have this extraordinary power that indeed impact their experience more so than others. So this is also something I warmly recommend, read or listen to the book. Do this interrogation of your customer journey. Think of the moments you haven't necessarily thought, which would have potential to create something unforgettable. And we are also constantly gathering customer insights. We are an organization of 20 plus or so. It's not that we have like people to do it for us. We all do that all the time. Anytime we talk to customers, we are a customer insights organization. Last night I met some customers here in Tallinn who were here, who've become friends as well. And we exchanged thoughts. And I was asking like about certain things that we are planning. Because of course I can. And we do it like that, and we want our salespeople also to feel like they are a customer insights organization. They feed the insights into us. And then of course sometimes it's also just about following social media. This is a case about gathering customer insights or getting customer insights and getting them into the systems. One of our customers jokingly posted this before an event saying, hey, it's a wonderful event, I'm looking forward to it, but I can't, I'm toast after a few days. So I wish there was this area for the introverts, no speaking needed, it's a networking event, but so on. We felt it was a fantastic idea. We would have had all the reasons to say, we are already on site, no time to do anything about it. But it was such a fantastic idea, we thought, let's do it. And we literally did what she proposed. We took over one area. We also gave her credits, of course. We wrote exactly what she had said. Thank you, Merja Raponen, for the idea. And can you imagine what happens when she comes on site and sees that? She freaked out in a good way. And she posted a video about it, and it went totally viral, some 6 years ago or something. Of course, other people loved it too. We knew it has potential. We are in Finland. There are plenty of introverts. So that's kind of how we want to do it. We want to showcase that it is possible to listen to customers if the insights are good and you can execute, even if you do kind of a karvalakki verse, as we would say in Finnish. It's not the proudest moment for me as a producer, that we just literally, laminated a sign. But the impact it had, profound. Also after the COVID years, when we had to take a break, then we upgraded it. It was a bit more refined, but again, it went viral. And we always give credits to Merja, who had changed names in between. The same Merja. Indeed, area for the introverts. Even in a networking event, you can do that. Of course, people start saying, what about extroverts then? Why don't we have something? So of course we want to take that into account. So we created an area for extreme extroverts. And of course, Finnish version of the fear factor. Yes, we understand it was empty in the beginning, but it actually was used by some. But indeed, there are people who are quite impressed when they see that we actually take the insights. Why don't you suggest something you want? Let's look into if we can make that work. That's how we work. Breaking the script is another hint and tip I want you to walk away from. It's from a book that I will also give you as a reading and inspirational listening to. Breaking the script. We human beings with our brains, have a way of structuring information. And that's about, I'm going to event, these and these things are happening. It's a way for us to kind of manage the information flow. But when you smartly break the script at certain moments, you can create those memorable moments. And these photos are actually now from last autumn, when it started pouring rain, just when people were arriving. And it was a sudden shower. People weren't necessarily equipped with their umbrellas. But we knew, of course, from previous years as well, that sometimes it does rain. We had plenty of umbrellas. And when it started pouring rain, people, all these 7,000 people or 6,500 last year started coming in. We ran there with our team. We ran there with our umbrellas, and you could it's like giving me goosebumps thinking of those moments when you go there and say, like, let me ensure that you don't get wet. And this is just one post by a customer saying, like, what an impact it has when somebody has actually thought of you and proactively thought of the situations and designed that moment in a way that it leaves a mark. So many people got back to us, and literally this costs nothing. These are IKEA umbrellas that we've I think there's some orange things maybe. But literally, that's not the point. The point is that they feel looked after. Another point where we've broken their script is the cloakroom. There's a little hint on the bottom left corner. Of course, normally you just bring your coats and jackets. That's what people's expectations are. But we've started actually fixing people's clothes when they are inside. The comments we get, never mind the speakers, I'd come here just for the service. Or, the best thing at this event, when I had also heard about Richard Branson, that was the best thing. And then I went to the cloakroom and got my jacket. Because people felt looked after. And we go into kind of fundamental people and human needs in here. And that's what I think is the secret for us. And our fantastic team members, the students, like Anna here, she could have been listening to Barack Obama at that moment. But she knew that her task, and she was inspired by the mission of being part of creating the world's best customer experience. So she stayed there and was sewing a button that had come off. You can tell we used to have like Post-it notes, like, not very fancy things. Again, that's not the point. But then we thought, well, Nordic Business Forum, we want to be kind of a premium experience. So we also upgraded the tags. Every year, this is a new experience for somebody. And I want to highlight this one because I think this goes directly to the authenticity part. Dear customer, hello, this is Joy from Cloakroom. This loop was broken, so I fixed it. I don't know if it looks perfect or not, but I tried my best. I hope you like it. Enjoy the event. Nobody cares about whether the button was sewn in a perfect way, but they do care about somebody having thought of them at that moment. This also is authentic photo from 2018 when Nikke was in the seminar hall team. Seminar hall like this, of course a bit bigger. Nikke's task was to ensure that customers find their seats easily. But also Nikke had been trained and inspired to do whatever it takes if there's a situation that requires action. So there was a mom with a baby, and the baby was a bit restless. Like, we curate the content of our events well, but the baby is not the target audience, so she couldn't care less. And Nikke saw that as an opportunity, said to the mom, hey, why don't I come and if it's okay for you to look after your baby for a little while. The mom was up for it, the baby looked surprised, but she didn't have a choice. Iconic picture of the customer experience approach that year. And also, by the way, it's not like a Heiligenschein, it's a part of the seminar hall structures on top of Nikke's head, but like literally a beautiful moment. We have so many stories like that about making people feel seen and heard. And that, I think, is something you can do in your organizations as well, irrespective if it's a business event or anything you do. Unforgettable moments for those demanding customers. So what do you want to be loved for? What is it that your customer appreciates in your brand and offering and everything you do? Do those things especially well, because that's what you want to be. You need to deliver on those things you want to be loved for. It's actually not so hard to do when you have thought of that. What's the outcome then? I remember also in the event description was a bit like, okay, does focus on CX pay off? Where do we see the return on its investment? Well, for us, we sold 4,600 tickets in 4 hours when we launched the next event.
and over 5,000 tickets 9 months before the event, and now we are at almost 7,000 tickets with 4 more months to go. At least our customers, they want to return, and that's of course the part of our success as well. That's the event next autumn that we look forward to with our customers. Indeed, high recommendation rate. We stick to what we know we are loved for, and we want to be loved for going forward as well. We also can see it in the social media. We get so much word of mouth, which is invaluable in these times, as you see, and you know, of course, from experience. So many stories, very much, of course, about the speakers as well, but actually largely about the experience they get, which is quite telling. And in the peak and rule, application, you must know that people remember best the things that happen in the end. People will never forget how you made them feel. I definitely want to leave you with this, and hope you got many good insights and hints and tips for your work. And I'll also leave you with the story of John F. Kennedy in the corridors of NASA in the 60s, where he met the janitor who was sweeping the floors. And John F. Kennedy, according to this legend that lays there, asked, like, what is your role here? What are you up to? And the janitor would have said that, I'm here to put the man on the moon. And this is how we want our teams also to feel when they are part of our team. They are part of something bigger, and irrespective of their exact role, they are putting the man on the moon in Nordic Business Forum ways. Thank you.